Good evening and welcome to the Bay Area Case Studies Virtual College Fair. We're so glad you've joined us to learn a little bit more about 6 fantastic colleges and universities. Tonight's seminar is in a 6x6 format, which means that each of our institutions will have 6 minutes to present their information. Because this is a webinar, your camera and your microphone are turned off, so we can't see you, nor can we hear you. But I know that our presenters would love to hear from you. So the best way to do that is by typing your questions into the Q&A box you can find on your screen. You certainly can do that at any time. So no need to wait for a particular presenter to come on screen. If you've got a question that's, burning a hole in your pocket, by all means, go ahead and ask that at any time. While this is our last block of sessions for the day, there are additional sessions tomorrow, so please come back, see us, visit some more schools and learn a little bit more. And if there are sessions that you missed or sessions that you'd like to go back and review, by all means do that. You can find those sessions at strivescan.com/BACS. So without any further ado, I'd like to get to the stars of our show and our first presenter from Case Western University.
So, hello everybody. Thanks for joining us this evening. My name is Tom Fanning, Senior Associate Director of Undergraduate Admission at Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, Ohio, a school of 5,200 full-time undergraduates. We also have graduate school and professional schools, a medical school, dental school, law school. But we are in Cleveland, Ohio, top-tier research institution, and happy to tell you a little bit more about our institution as we start now. So, Case Western Reserve is a school on the undergraduate side that offers about 96 different programs of study divided amongst 4 different colleges: our College of Arts and Sciences, the School of Engineering, the Weatherhead School of Management, which is our business school, and the Bolton School of Nursing. So 96 different programs of study, largest majors. Biomedical engineering is the largest. In fact, many of the engineering departments are among our largest departments. Computer science, biology, we have a lot of pre-med and pre-dent and pre-professional students. As I said, we have our own medical school, dental school, and law school. Psychology is the largest department, as is finance in the Weatherhead School of Management. One important thing about us academically is when you're applying for admission, you're not applying to the engineering school or College of Arts and Sciences or any of the programs. You're applying to the university. And if you're admitted, you could choose any major that you are interested in or double major across different colleges of the university. Many of our students absolutely love that opportunity. Second piece I want to talk about is we are a top-tier research institution. We're a school where many, or if not most, of the students are doing internship or co-op positions through the course of their experience. But 84% of our undergrads are listed as members of research projects. And that can start in the first year. So as a school of 5,200 undergrad, your opportunities abound. And that's one of the things, another thing the students love about our institution. We are a place for inventors. We're a place for idea people. One of the more famous spots on a campus tour is the Sears Think Box, which is the largest academic makerspace under one roof in the country. 7 stories of high-end 3D printers and machine tools for you to bring your ideas to life. We're the type of school that has a big footprint at the Consumer Electronics Show every year. We send people to South by Southwest and the Entrepreneurship Challenge. So if you have ideas, hopefully you'd find opportunity with the resources we have at our institution at Case Western Reserve. Another big part of our existence is being in the city of Cleveland, situated along Lake Erie. Downtown is about 5 miles from where our campus sits. People head downtown to work and to play. Cleveland is home to the NASA Glenn Research Center, so opportunities abound in the work side and in the fun side and the play side when people head downtown. But if you came to Case Western Reserve and decided not to head downtown, our campus has attractions unto itself in that Not only is the campus surrounded by wonderful parkland setting in the city of Cleveland, but we're also surrounded by many of the cultural institutions. So the Cleveland Museum of Art, 40,000 masterworks, free and open to the public, is at the end of the street from the admission office. And Severance Hall, home to Cleveland's orchestra, one of the big five in the country, plays right on our campus. In addition to the cultural institutions, some major medical institutions surround us. So the university hospitals, the Cleveland VA, and the #2 hospital in the country, according to US News, with the Cleveland Clinic, all surround our campus. So anybody doing anything in healthcare is going to have a lot of opportunity at these major institutions. These all turn out to be an advantage if you're going to come live on our campus and do your undergraduate or graduate level work at Case Western Reserve University. So we're a school that uses holistic review, and we are test optional through fall of 23, and we'll be studying whether or not to continue that. We're also a school that will meet full demonstrated financial need if you file the FAFSA form and the CSS profile. In addition to that, we're a school that offers merit-based scholarships. So about a third of our offers of admission go out the door every year with merit scholarship based on your high school record. We have multiple program plans for admission with the early action, early decision, regular decision. And we also have something called the Pre-Professional Scholars Program. That is a conditional admit program to our medical and our dental schools. So if you know your goal is medical or dental school, it's a really nice program to know that coming in as first year, that you know you have a spot as long as you do well academically in the classroom. By the way, the pre-professional scholars who are heading to med school do not have to take the MCAT. They know they have a position, again, if they follow the pre-med curriculum and do reasonably well. So that is a very, very quick overview of the institution. The contact information is the bottom left-hand corner, case.edu, and there's all kinds of information out there and virtual tours and virtual sessions almost every night. So we hope this piques your interest, and we hope that you consider Case Western Reserve as you head through your college search. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. Our next presenter tonight is from the University of Denver.
All right, thank you so much. Sorry, you would think after all this time being virtual, I'd be able to unmute myself, but I'm Stephanie Francis. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm one of our assistant directors of admission at DU. Really excited to be here and show you all a little bit more about the University of Denver. If you're not familiar, we are actually a mid-sized private university located in Denver, Colorado. We're just south of the heart of downtown. We're kind of situated in this quaint little residential area. So really nice. We've got this great neighborhood, but super accessible to the downtown as well as the mountains, of course. We do also have a 2-year living requirement. So you'll see the majority of our first-year students do live on campus. There's 3 different residence halls to choose from as a first-year student. One of them is actually brand new. It was just built over the summer. So a lot of options and really great options, I think, whether you're living on campus or if you're just trying to get to know your new neighborhood. But academically, we do have about 5,800 undergraduate students on our campus. You'll have about a 12-to-1 student to faculty ratio. And then as you can see, about 22 students in your average class size. Those classes are going to be taught by professors. We don't have teaching assistants or graduate assistants teaching classes. So somebody to not just teach you the material, but they also have office hours. You can go grab a cup of coffee with them if you're just looking to understand the material better, or hopefully this person can also serve as a mentor for you down the road. One thing I did want to bring up, just because it really influences a lot of things that we do here at DU, is that we actually operate on a quarter schedule, not a semester schedule. So DU students traditionally have 3 academic quarters in their year. That summer quarter is optional and additional. So if it helps you to remember it as a trimester, that's totally fine. Feel free to do so. I completely understand. But a couple of key highlights with the quarter system, our students actually take the same amount of credit hours per quarter than you may per semester, for example. So traditionally, DU students actually take more courses over the course of 4 years. And what this does is it opens up a lot of flexibility for you to do things like add majors, add minors, change majors and minors. So if you're a student who has a lot of areas of interest, no matter what those interests are, how different they may be, DU could be a great school to consider. The other perk with this quarter system is that we also have a 6-week winter break. So because our fall quarter ends right before Thanksgiving and our winter quarter doesn't start until after the new year, it gives our students 6 weeks to travel, go home, not have to book 2 plane tickets for holidays. A lot of students will get jobs and internships. Again, just a lot of great flexibility within your academic schedule. We're also really big here at DU on not just making sure that you're learning information in the classroom, but actually putting that knowledge to practice. So you'll see over 80% of our students will complete at least one internship before they graduate. Service is also something that's really important to us. Our vision here is to be a great private university dedicated to the public good. So if you as a student are really passionate about giving back to the community, just know that that's a passion we also share. And there's tons of opportunities to get you plugged in. Like I mentioned earlier, our location really makes it easy to do that. Super accessible to not just Denver and Colorado in general, but also globally. You can do a lot of those things as well. A few other things that our students will take advantage of sort of academically, but also outside of the classroom. Study abroad is really big. That tends to be a really big part of our students' experiences. We have something called the Sherrington Global Scholars Program, which allows every DU junior and senior to study abroad for no additional cost. So we'll pay for your flight, your passport, visas, all that good stuff. And then your cost of tuition stays the exact same when you go abroad. So it's a really popular program most of our students take advantage of. We are also a research-based institution with a liberal arts common curriculum. So again, just a lot of flexibility within those academics so that you can really tailor your interests with your studies. There's some really cool things our students are doing with that. And all of this really culminates to hopefully set you up for the best possible success after you graduate. So you'll see over 90% of our graduates are enrolled in graduate school or employed within 6 months of graduating from DU. It's not just academics, though. There's tons of other things that our students are getting involved in. We are an NCAA Division I university, which means we have 18 sports that compete at the highest level of college athletics. Hockey is our big spectator sport, but there's tons of other things that you can participate in or just spectate if you're a big sports fan yourself. There's also a ton of different clubs and organizations our students are taking part in, as well as some really cool kind of unique campus traditions that we have. If you're interested in actually becoming a DU student, just know that we have 2 different deadlines you can apply. There's November 1st and January 15th. Both of those deadlines have binding and non-binding options within them. And we really do not have a preference which deadline you apply by. We actually have pretty even acceptance rates for our students in both of those. So it's really just whatever you're most comfortable in doing. But if you're kind of trying to just gauge where you fall academically, this admitted student profile that you see here will give you the best idea there. I do want to mention that we are a test optional university. So if you don't feel like your SAT and ACT scores are good representations of you as a student, you do not have to submit those to us. You will still be considered holistically for admission and merit scholarships, which every student who applies to DU is automatically considered for merit scholarships. That is not something that you have to apply for separately. But I would love to continue the conversation. So if anybody does have any questions, I'm happy to answer them in the Q&A. You can also, if you want to like quickly take a picture of our contact, you'll notice a person's name, Christy Statama, up there. She is actually our admission counselor who works with everyone from Northern California, and she'd be happy to answer those for you. Thanks.
Thank you, Stephanie. Great to hear about the University of Denver. And now we're going to hear about Scripps College.
All right, thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. My name is Jessica Johnston. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm Associate Director of Admission at Scripps College. So we are located in beautiful Claremont, California, which is about 35 miles east of downtown Los Angeles. So not too far away from home for you, but kind of just far enough. And we are a member of the Claremont Colleges Consortium. I'm going to start off by talking about that, and then I'll talk about a couple of things that kind of differentiate us from our neighbors in Claremont. So the Claremont Colleges are a group of 5 undergraduate liberal arts colleges that are all literally across the street from each other. You can basically trip and fall and end up on a different college campus. And you know when you have, because suddenly the vibe and the architecture and even the plants are totally different. But you are able to take advantage of basically everything that's going on across the street. So the Claremont Colleges are made up of Pomona College, which was founded first, us, Scripps College, then Claremont McKenna College, Harvey Mudd College, and Pitzer College. From the top of Harvey Mudd to the bottom of Pomona is a 20-minute walk. As a Scripps student, you can take classes on the other college campuses. You can, generally speaking, major in things taught on the other campuses. You can join clubs elsewhere, go to events elsewhere, eat in any of the dining halls. You can basically mix and mingle as much as you like or not. It's totally up to you. And then in terms of a couple things that make us unique from our neighbors, I want to start off by talking a bit about our curriculum. So we have something called the Core Curriculum in Interdisciplinary Humanities, which is a lot of words. So we just call it CORE. CORE is a 3-course sequence designed to give you a foundation in interdisciplinary thinking through a humanities-based lens. It's something that all Scripps students do and only Scripps students do. So you will not have any students from the other Claremont colleges in these 3 classes that you take at Scripps. After that, all bets are off, basically. You may have students from the other colleges in your classes. So I want to kind of go through the structure of the program a little bit. It can be a little convoluted, but you start in Core 1 in your first semester of your first year. This is taught to the entire first year class all at one time. So by far the biggest class you'll ever have at Scripps. And there's lecture once a week and then discussion sections twice a week. Those are significantly smaller, more around 15 to 20 students or so. That way you can actually discuss things and you're always with the same group and always led by the same faculty member. We also do not have any graduate teaching assistants, because we don't have any graduate students. So there's always an overarching theme to Core 1. Right now, that theme is truth. Each week, the lecture will be given by a different professor from a different department, all on this idea of truth. So this is where you're getting this interdisciplinary look at one big idea. You're getting to know an idea from lots of academic points of view, so you can hopefully get a better understanding of that topic and also see the relationships between seemingly unrelated academic fields. After that, you move on to Core 2. The structure is very different. You'll have a variety of different topics to choose from. But the one thing that is kind of similar is that they'll all be interdisciplinary in nature in one way or another. And then finally, you wrap up with Core 3 in your first semester of your sophomore year, very similar to Core 2, but it's project-based. And this is meant to be good practice for when you eventually do your senior thesis. The senior thesis and the core program are meant to be the bookends of your academic experience at Scripps. Finally, we are a women's college. This makes us very different from like 90+% of colleges in the United States, and certainly from all of our neighbors in Claremont, which are all coeducational. And so in a lot of ways, you get to kind of have your cake and eat it too. You get to have a very co-ed life if that's something that you want because of the proximity of the consortium, but we are absolutely 100% a women's college at our core. And you know, some of the highlights of that for me, I think, are just the different set of priorities that we have than some other colleges, that we think about things a little differently, like about implicit bias as it relates to gender in the classroom and how we can combat that. We think about if our faculty are teaching in a way that's conducive to the way in which women learn. That's really important to us. But there's also just a really different kind of sense of community, this kind of sense of commonality that you see among our students, which I think really contributes to the feel of campus. And it's not even just the students. Everybody who joins a women's college community, whether it's students, faculty, or staff, we have all made an intentional choice to join a community that is dedicated to the success and empowerment of women. And if you really sit there and think about it for a minute, you probably don't know of a ton of other organizations that can say that they are dedicated to the success and empowerment of women. This is our thing. We have a women's leadership center on campus. We think about these things, again, differently and how we can center women's voices and lift each other up. This is what we're all about. One of the best things too about being at a women's college is that ambition is not a dirty word. We encourage our students to be ambitious, but it's not about blind upward ambition where you're like squashing all the little people on your way to the top. It's about always remembering to bring others along with you. That's one of the most important things about being at a women's college. And then finally, I do want to wrap up by highlighting a couple of these admission-y sort of things. We are test optional. This was new this year. We love it. No need to send us test scores at all. We will never ask why you didn't submit a test score or extrapolate anything from the fact that you didn't submit a test score. So when you see test optional, really and truly, it does mean optional. And then we also meet 100% of students' demonstrated financial need as determined by the FAFSA and CSS profile forms. And we do have merit scholarships. All admitted students are automatically considered for those scholarships, which range from $15,000 to $28,000. And I am getting the hook here. So I will hopefully answer any questions that you may have in the Q&A. And thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Jessica. That was great. Our next presenter is from Bennington College.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome. My name is Tony Cabasco. I'm Vice President for Enrollment at Bennington College. So we're starting here with the picture of our beautiful campus. Bennington College is located on 440 acres in the foothills of the Green Mountains in one of the most beautiful states in New England, Vermont. We'll start there, and this just gives you a sense for where we're located in southwestern Vermont. It's about 45 minutes from Albany, the state capital of New York, and about 3.5 hours to New York City and 3 hours to Boston. You could catch a train in Albany and be in Penn Station in about 2 hours and 45 minutes if you're so inclined. So Bennington has been kind of breaking the mold of a traditional liberal arts college. We are a quintessential New England liberal arts college, but have broken the mold, and since from the beginning, we've been different and have retained that in our DNA. So Bennington offers a progressive brand of education with an emphasis on self-directed learning and a hands-on experience in the field. So Bennington was kind of founded on that bold idea, and it places students at the center of a world of experiences on and off campus. And we really try to connect students to international and field experiences and study away options beyond campus. Today, it's a diverse community made up of 750 undergraduates who are creative, independent, self-starters, who come from over 40 states and 60 countries, come from diverse backgrounds. It's a residential college. We did start out as a women's college, but has been co-ed since the early 70s. So the other thing that I would just mention is that the sensor community and kind of the network of alumni that the community you build at Bennington continues afterwards, and the network of alumni that we of Bennington are admired as change makers, groundbreakers, culture shapers. You know, alumni have won Emmys like Peter Dinklage of Game of Thrones, MacArthur Fellow Genius Grants, and Pulitzer Prizes like author Donna Tartt. So the heart of our approach is the plan process. So we break the mold there. We don't have just majors. We have a self-design and interdisciplinary program that we call the plan process. It's self-directed learning where you start with a question and an inquiry, and guided by faculty in a collaborative process, you design the courses, the structure of disciplines and the cluster of disciplines that you might take. Instead of declaring a major at the end of your second year, you submit your plan process to your plan committee, and that becomes your blueprint for your academic work. Students may decide, for example, to combine the study of astrophysics and dance, or study combine psychology and architecture and study how spaces interact and create the sense of well-being, or maybe combine your interests in development economics, political economy, Nigeria, and gender studies, and study the role of women in economic development in Nigeria. So the plan process allows you to really hone in on and studying on what you might be interested in. So what makes it possible is our innovative and flexible curriculum. There's no core curriculum or required courses. In fact, 50% of the courses change from term to term. And we even have the option of pop-up courses, which are 3-week courses driven by student and faculty demand. The example I'd like to share is about a year ago when there was unrest in Belarus. There were 3 students from Belarus at Bennington, 1 who was actually on campus, and 2, because of the pandemic, were back home. And a pop-up course was created to study democracy in Belarus while all this was happening. And we had 2 students in country, as part of that class. And so that flexibility of that curriculum allows us to do those kinds of innovative approaches. As I said, we try to connect students to experiences beyond Vermont and Bennington, and we do that through our fieldwork term, which is a 6-week term in between semesters. I say fieldwork experiences here because you can also do this in the summer. We were the first liberal arts institution to integrate the classroom study with an annual field experience. It could be an internships, work, volunteer or research experiences around the world. So here pictured, we have somebody working in their Google offices in Brooklyn, or one of our students who interned with Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders down in Washington, D.C. We also have some partnerships that are funded. The ones I like to talk about is the Museum Fellows Program, which is a study away program, both 6 weeks and a term, where you'll be working in one of 10 museums in New York City. The Population Health Fellowship is our newest fellowship internship program, where you would work with the Southwestern Vermont Medical Center and looking at how we can transform the healthcare model. So again, combining those, integrating the learning with field experiences. I think the outcomes of that is that you foster a community of makers, of people who by the time they graduate will have published a piece of writing, produced an album, exhibited a piece of art, performed in a public space, in front of a public audience, or presented their research paper. You find that 6 months after graduation, our graduates are employed, enrolled in service programs, or attending grad schools. You find that 10 years out, a quarter of our alumni have started their own business or organizations. I think it's one of the reasons that Ford called Bennington one of the most entrepreneurial liberal arts colleges. So if you're interested in studying in beautiful Vermont, having some freedom in your curriculum, then certainly consider Bennington. Just real quick on the admission stuff, we are test optional as well, have been for a while, so very comfortable with doing that, have merit-based and need-based aid, and I will end there. Thank you very much. Look forward to chatting with you.
Thanks so much, Tony. Our next presenter is from the University of Puget Sound. Just as a reminder, pop those questions in the Q&A. Take it away, Tori.
Okay, let me get my screen set. Okay, that seems right. Great. So thanks so much. My name is Tori. I'm an assistant director of admission at the University of Puget Sound. I'm definitely excited to be here to tell you a little bit about our school. The University of Puget Sound is a national, independent, small liberal arts college located in the heart of the beautiful Pacific Northwest. We have about 2,200 undergraduate students on campus, plus another 200, 250, somewhere in there, graduate students. We have 3 and now 4 small graduate programs. So at 2,200 students, we are a little bit on the big side of small, but we think that the size we're at is absolutely perfect because it allows us to offer a really fantastic array of academic programs. We have a full school of music, a strong business and leadership program, a really great range of STEM majors, some great interdisciplinary programs like bioethics, neuroscience, environmental policy, international political economy. There's just a really fantastic range that we're able to offer because we are a little bit larger. Of course, that being said, even if we're a smidge bigger, we are definitely still a small school. We have a student to faculty ratio of 11:1 and an average class size of 17. So classes really are small and they're really engaged. Most are going to be really discourse based as well. So you're going to be talking, and all of our classes are taught by the professor. We don't have any TAs or grad students teaching you. So that gives you that opportunity to work really closely with faculty and build those relationships, whether it's in the classroom or lab or office hours, coffee shop, really, you name it. So I will say, as wonderful as the classroom experience is at Puget Sound, we actually spent a great deal of time trying to shove you out of the classroom for things like academic research, internships, study abroad, community service. All of those experiential education opportunities are really vital to what we do at Puget Sound. They not only provide you with valuable experience and hey, it's something for your grad school application or your job application, but beyond that, those experiences that you get, you're going to bring those back with you into the classroom. So it enriches not just you, but your classmates as well. So really, definitely a win-win situation. And our location is really perfect for all of those experiences. We're located in Tacoma, Washington, which is a city of just over 200,000 people, and it's nestled in the busy Puget Sound corridor. We're just about an hour south of Seattle, and although you can't see it on the map there, we're about 45 minutes north of Olympia, which is our state capital. So we really are kind of in the heart of a pretty busy urban corridor that runs kind of north-south right along the Puget Sound. So given that, your opportunities for internships and research are really pretty extensive. But we do know that many people choose to come to Puget Sound for that other big aspect of our location, and that would be the easy access to the outdoors in the Pacific Northwest. So while it might be pretty urban north and south of us, to the east and west, we've got mountains and forests and national parks. And of course, Tacoma sits right on the shores of the Puget Sound, which is the body of water that gives us our name. So if your interests run to the outdoorsy, like hiking, camping, climbing, kayaking, canoeing, scuba diving, then we definitely have you covered. And keep in mind too that all this easy access to nature provides for a pretty great opportunity for research and internships as well. So a lot to like in that location. Now, with all of this around us, it is no surprise that our students are really pretty busy and super engaged. Campus is home to over 100 different student-run clubs, 23 Division III varsity sports teams, plus it seems like an endless number of club and intramural sports teams too. There's a really vibrant arts culture with music, theater, studio art, and of course we have a student body that is really friendly, supported, and committed to making the world a better place. And I will say too about our students, they are smart, doing top tier academic work. We as a university, Puget Sound ranks in the top 10% of baccalaureate granting institutions whose students go on to achieve doctoral degrees. It's worth noting too that our medical school and law school admission rates are both twice the national average. So our students really are smart and they really are successful. The thing is, though, is that you're going to find that the atmosphere on campus is a lot more relaxed than you might think, given the rigor. Students tend to be internally driven, not competitive, so it really is a really friendly place to be. Now, I know I'm running out of time, so I quickly just want to say we are a test optional school, completely test optional. We have been for a while and will continue to be. We review applications holistically. And when we do so, we're going to consider you for our full range of academic scholarships. Those go up to $30,000 per year. And we also have talent-based scholarships in music, theater, art, and debate. So if any of those are areas of passion for you, please consider applying to one of those. And of course, we are very happy to offer need-based aid as well. We'll just ask you to submit your FAFSA and then we will go from there. As you can see from the slide, we do have kind of the full complement of application deadlines. Whichever makes the most sense to you, that's what we'd like you to use. So that is a quick overview of Puget Sound, kind of Puget Sound in a nutshell. We would love to kind of explore more with you. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to drop those in the Q&A or send me an email. Come visit campus at pugetsound.edu, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you. And our final presenter tonight is from Loyola Marymount University.
Well, hello everyone, and thank you so much for being here. My name is Evelyn Fajardo. I work for LMU. I'm also a really proud alumna of LMU, and I am a native of the San Francisco Bay Area. I attended St. Mary's College High School, if any of you are here in the East Bay. So I'm really excited to talk to you about my alma mater, LMU. LMU is known for being three things. We are Jesuit, we are medium-sized, and we're located in Los Angeles, California. So I'm gonna focus on those three things tonight. The first is that we are a Jesuit institution. The Jesuits are an order or a group within the Catholic Church. So LMU is a Catholic university that has a large amount of religious diversity on campus. So we welcome students of all different faith backgrounds. The three things that Jesuits are known for are our dedication to academic excellence, our commitment to educating the whole person, as well as to orient our students to others. One of the big catchphrases in Jesuit education is that we educate men and women to be with and for others, and that's definitely the case at LMU. These values are represented by our the three main pillars of our mission statement. The first is the encouragement of learning. Of course, learning is happening inside the classroom with the discussions with your professors and your peers, but we also really want students to learn outside of the classroom as well. You can engage in research, whether that's linking up with a professor that's already researching something you're interested in, or if you come to LMU with an interest in studying the intersection between two disciplines that you're really interested in, LMU can provide you the resources and the mentorship to make that research happen. You can also join ongoing multidisciplinary teams. One is focusing on launching an LMU nano satellite into space within the next few years. Students also take advantage of the fact that we're in Los Angeles and use the large metropolitan area as a resource in and of itself as an extension of the classroom. We also offer over 80 study abroad opportunities for students that want to take their studies global. While academics and intellectual inquiry are extremely important to us, we also understand it's only one facet of who you are as an entire human being. So we want to make sure that in addition to encouraging academic learning, that we're also educating the whole person. So in addition to growing academically, you're growing in your interpersonal skills, you're maximizing your leadership potential, you're engaging in professional opportunities, and you're also growing spiritually if that's something that's interesting to you. No matter what your faith background is, you're able to delve more deeply into that. And that leads us to the last part of our mission, which is the service of faith and promotion of justice. All students are welcome, all different faith backgrounds are welcome on the LMU campus. It is not just Catholic exclusive. No matter what your faith background is, we really want you to think of the ways that your skill sets and your passions and the unique things that you're learning at LMU, how you can implement those to help your community become a better place in some way. We're very passionate about, again, about making sure that our students are thinking not just of their own success, but how they can use the tools that they're learning at LMU to help others. In terms of the academic experience, we are medium-sized. This means we're big enough to offer lots of the opportunities on a large campus, such as NCAA Division I athletics. We have over 200 clubs and organizations, including sororities and fraternities, and over 150 different academic programs for you to choose from. While we offer all of these opportunities, we're still small enough to have a smaller classroom experience. Our average class size at LMU is only 19 students with a student to faculty ratio of 10:1. So you never get lost in the crowd. Our professors really take pride in the fact that in addition to being educators, they're also mentors for our students. Our students are going to grow not just academically with the relationships they have with their faculty members, but also professionally and personally. We offer 61 majors, 55 minors across 5 undergraduate schools and colleges. And these 5 schools and colleges represent the 5 main areas of study at LMU, including liberal arts, business, communication and fine arts, film and television, as well as science and engineering. So if your major falls into one of those 5 general areas, it's likely that we have it at LMU, but if not, you can always go to our website and check out every program that we do offer at the institution. In terms of our location, like I mentioned, we are located in Los Angeles, California, which again, I was a Bay Area student. I think it's the perfect distance from home because it's far away that you get that sense of independence. You really feel like you're away from your family and you're learning how to live life on your own. But it's still close enough in case you wanted to go back for your mom's birthday or something was happening back home that you can just zip up the California coast, whether by plane or by car, and make that an easy weekend trip. I also love that LMU is the best of both worlds in LA because you have access to everything the city has to offer, both recreationally, whether that's going to the beach, hiking in the mountains, exploring Hollywood, downtown Los Angeles, or whether it's exploring internship opportunities. LMU is the University of Silicon Beach. There are tons of internships and jobs in the fields of business, tech, startup companies, as well as internships in engineering, law, education, film and television, entertainment in general. Whatever industry you're interested in, LMU has hands-on opportunities for you. And every year between 97 to 99% of our graduates have a positive outcome, meaning they're going to grad school or they're going to work within 6 months of graduation from LMU. And that's something we're really proud of. While students have access to all of this in Los Angeles, they are still located on a beautiful, distinct campus environment. It's one of the few places in LA where you can see both the Pacific Ocean and the Hollywood sign on at the same time. So it really feels like an oasis within a larger metropolitan area. So that's it from me, everyone. Thank you so much. If you are curious and you want to learn more, we invite you to come to a virtual visit and get to know LMU a little bit more. You can always reach out to us, admission@lmu.edu, and we hope you'll stay in touch.
Thank you so much. Now that all of our presenters have shared some information, I'd love for all of them to turn their cameras and their microphones back on. And as we have a few moments left, I would love to ask them all one question, and we'll go in the same order that y'all presented in. And the question is this: what piece of advice would you give to these students as they are starting their college search? So we'll start with Tom from Case Western Reserve.
Thank you so much, Julie. So wow, just wow. I mean, all these schools are spectacular. And if I was in the audience, I think I would be daunted because there are so many great choices out there. And many of us have more applications than we really have room for. So a lot of times it's a selective environment. But one piece of advice is do a good college search, visit campuses if you can, or do the virtual tours, because all of us do good work. And the bottom line is you just need to be happy where you are and realize that the college isn't going to make you successful. You're going to be successful using the resources that college offers. So I hope that cuts the pressure a little bit because you have so many choices and you've done such good work. And the fact that you're here now, you're starting a great college search. And so I wish everybody good luck, and I hope you enjoy this because the world's your oyster and you have a lot of great opportunities ahead of you. So next up.
Stephanie.
Yeah, I think, the big piece of advice I always give to students going through the admission process is, don't feel the need to have your entire life figured out right now. Most of you applying to college will be 17, 18 years old. And that's a lot of pressure to think that you have to have your future career already planned out. Some of you might not even be sure what major you're looking at doing, and that is totally fine. I am here to tell you that is 100% okay. That's what college is for. The whole college experience is growing and learning more about yourself and figuring out what you like and what you don't like. So be open to that growth, be open to that change, and don't get too caught up with comparing yourself to some of your classmates who might seem like they've got it all figured out right now.
Excellent. Jessica.
Yeah, so I guess my advice would be to keep doing what you're doing. Keep coming to these sorts of virtual events as they're available to you. Do your virtual visits, and hopefully soon, someday, you'll be able to do in-person visits to colleges as well. But as a kind of subset piece of advice there, the more of this legwork that you do sooner rather than later, the easier this whole process is going to be. Do that thinking and self-reflection of really sitting down and thinking, okay, what do I want from a college experience? Not just the size and location, obviously that's important too, but the really, what do you want your life to be like at a college? What colleges do you think can help you achieve what you're hoping to achieve in these 4 years? And if you do that homework over the summer, then that's going to make making your final list of colleges a lot easier, and it's going to make your final decision next April a lot easier as well if you've done a lot of that legwork. So that would be my piece of advice. Do the homework sooner rather than later.
It's a good piece of advice for life, for sure. Tony, how can you help these students?
Yeah, I'm speaking from the perspective of a dad who has one daughter who's a college senior and a son who's a high school senior going through this process right now. So one thing I would just share is that don't make your senior year just about college. Don't go over obsessive about it. We want you to take it seriously, and you need to do it well, and you need to start, and you need to kind of, do your thing. But it should be the only thing that you do your senior year. There's going to be soccer games, music concerts you need to do, prom. Enjoy life because we want you to do that. That's part of what makes you interesting. So one of the things that we did, maybe this may not work for everybody, but my oldest daughter, we made a plan. We had an appointment every Sunday. I think it was at 3 o'clock for an hour or two. It was our time to talk about college. Any other time, we didn't talk about it. So it was this is the time when we could sit down and say, I have questions, or we want to discuss stuff. It was just kind of freeing to know that none of us were going to be obsessive about this, constantly talking about it, worried about it, thinking about it. I know may not help, but please, seriously, balance here is important. We want you to take this whole thing seriously, but it's not the only thing you should be doing.
Tony, that's so funny. I have a son who's a freshman in college, and we did exactly the same thing. We had college time once a week. So it worked for us too. So it doesn't matter where you're at. Tori, What kind of advice can you share?
Yeah, I think, kind of building a little bit on what Tony said, kind of rein in a little bit some of the college expectations. This is an important process, but kind of let go of that idea that you have to be the perfect college candidate, because there is no perfect college candidate. There are so many colleges out there that want you, the person that you are, not this person you're trying to manufacture. So, enjoy your passions, enjoy your senior year. That you're going to find that path. And I guess my kind of the other bit of advice that goes along with that is be open to sort of new experiences. I think there's this perception that, you have to apply to the perfect schools, get into the perfect program, and that is your program. That is, you've got a plan. That's not the way life works. Be open to those new experiences, be open to different schools, and just kind of be your authentic self through this process. I promise there are a lot of schools that will find a great deal of value in that.
So I
And
know
Evelyn,
I
yeah,
know
go
we're-
ahead.
I know we're at time, so I'll just share a quick piece of advice from a first generation college student perspective. And that's definitely to reach out to admission counselors if you ever have any questions about their school, their university. We are here to help. As a first gen student, I didn't really know that. I thought that colleges would judge me if I didn't know the answer to something. And so reaching out would be a mistake because they judge me. No, we are here to help. So if you ever have any questions, you want some guidance, it's literally our job to help you, and we're more than happy to do so.
An excellent way to wrap us up tonight. So again, presenters, thank you so much for all of the great information that you shared. And just a quick reminder that as you click out of this window tonight, you will see a very short, it's 4 questions, survey pop up. If you could take a moment or two to answer those questions for us to help us improve our offerings for future students, or maybe even you, we'd really appreciate it. There are no more sessions tonight, so go off into this good night. But if you have some time tomorrow, you can sign up for some additional sessions, or if you just want to watch the recordings of tonight's or tomorrow's sessions, head on back to strivescan.com/BACS, and you can find all of those recordings there. So again, on behalf of all the presenters and our friends at StriveScan, I want to thank you again for participating, and have a great evening.